This is Mark Bell from supertraining.tv, Super Training Gym, the strongest gym in the West, answering more questions for the Power Project today. I just want to point out that my CrossFit guys that I work with, that I train, are constantly hitting PRs now in their snatches, in their cleans, and even on some odd exercises that they just haven't done in a long time. And it's strictly due to powerlifting. They haven't changed anything else to the routine other than adding in some powerlifting training with me once a week. So those of you out there that are doing CrossFit, or those of you who are looking for a boost in any sport, just realize that if you implement some powerlifting principles, implement the conjugate system, the West Side Barbell method, that you can see some great results in a given sport, in any given sport. So got a couple questions to answer here today. Try to get this going as swiftly as possible. This guy Jack Hamilton has pain in his biceps when he's squatting and when he's bench pressing. It's so excruciating that he can barely get through the workout. Well, I've been there, my friend, and it sucks. What is it? I'm not really 100% sure. I don't think anybody else can really pinpoint exactly what the hell it is either. I've asked people before and no one seems to really know exactly what it is. The only thing I could do is manage the pain. That's the only thing. That's the only way I could ever get through that, was to manage the pain, and the pain would simply just go away. If you're getting it from speed bench pressing, then don't speed bench. Choose a different type of bench pressing. Try to slow yourself down on your benches, especially on the descent. Realize that the bicep is a decelerator of your arm. The bicep is a decelerator of your arm, and it's taking a lot of load, it's taking a lot of weight. I just said load. It's taking a lot of load when you're bringing those weights down, especially if you're bringing them down fast and bringing them down explosively. What happens a lot of times when you bring those weights down in a herky-jerky motion, you come down and you kind of jam it in on the elbow, and you're causing yourself some problems. A lot of times these things, upstream, downstream, which Kelly Starrett talks about quite often on mobilitywod.com, a lot of times these things stem from your shoulders and from your neck. So that's something to be cautious of. You may want to foam roll the upper back. You may want to foam roll the lats a little bit. You may want to try to get into those shoulders and into those traps a little bit, because that's a lot of times where a lot of this shit is coming from originally, and then it's kind of manifesting itself through the rotator cuff all the way down to the bicep tendon and all the way down into the elbow. I don't like to get too technical, and I don't like to get into too much of this kind of stuff because it's not my forte. It's not my bread and butter. My bread and butter is to talk about how to get people stronger. So in this instance, having said that, I would wrap those suckers up. Keep training, dude. Avoid the regular speed benching, especially the lighter the weights and the faster you move them, the worse it's going to be. So avoid those herky-jerky speed movements. Maybe avoid the straight bar for a few weeks. Wrap those things up. I have the slingshot wraps, the slingshot multi-purpose wrist wraps on howmuchyoubench.net. Buy the longest ones that I have. I think they're 42 inches long, and wrap those biceps up in between every set. You can also do something called flossing. You can look that up on mobilitywod.com. I know I'm talking a million miles an hour here, but this shit gets to be boring, and so I try to get this message out as quickly and as efficiently as possible. Mobilitywod.com has some great information on how to floss your muscles. Basically what you're going to do is you take a band, you wrap it around the injured area, and then you just do some exercise with it. You can just do regular exercise with it, like you can do a set of barbell curls, or you can just do stretching movements. The other thing I suggest is warm up. Don't forget about an old-fashioned warm-up. Everybody's kind of lost that. It's kind of got lost in the shuffle, and now it's called like dynamic stretching or whatever people want to call it. But whatever happened to just good old-school calisthenics, arm circles and shit like that? Are they garbage now all of a sudden for no reason? I don't think so. I think they still have their application. So get the body warm, get some blood flowing into those areas before they get inflamed, before they get too inflamed. You also need to flush blood into the area. So you're going to have to compress the area, you're going to have to ice the area, you're going to have to do super high repetitions with lightweight, super high repetitions, anything above 35, 40 reps. And a lot of that stuff will help get blood flow into the area. Maybe even look into doing some bicep work in between your sets. You would think that that would make it 100 times worse, but it should actually make it quite a bit better. Control the eccentric portion of the lift, which is the lowering portion of the lift, so do a curl. curl the weights up and come down at about a 4 count. We're getting close to 5 minutes here, and let's see if I can answer one more question. A guy had a question about the West Side Barbell Conjugate System. Where do you implement, where do you throw in direct shoulder work? You throw it in as needed. You throw it in where you'd like. You realize that bench pressing is getting that front deltoid pretty good, but it's also not getting the front deltoid in the same fashion that a overhead press would, or that a kettlebell press would, or that the old school Arnold press would. So don't be afraid to challenge the system a little bit and challenge what others say. Some people say, oh, don't train your shoulders at all. Well, use some common sense. If that doesn't make any sense to not train your shoulders at all, that's stupid. I hear some people say, oh, I haven't done an overhead press in 4 years or a military press in 4 years. That doesn't make any sense. If you're a strength athlete, there should not be any gaps like that. You should be working on this stuff. I suck at overhead pressing, but I still do it. Do I, try to kill myself with it and do huge weights? No, not really, because I'm just not very good at it. It's hard for me to get my arms even up and back to be straight over my head. My arms want to be more forward because I'm built like a fucking beetle. But anyway, dude, that's it. Throw in some side laterals. Definitely do some rear delts. Do some lateral raises. Work your shoulders. I'd say work them once a week if I had to make a suggestion to you. And just throw it in on like a Sunday or something like that when you're doing your speed bench. And that is it from supertraining.tv. I'm out.